Hello, everybody. This is Kevin Lepine. Normally, I don't re-record an intro for a show, but I wanted to take just a minute and describe a little bit about what you're going to hear in this show. Our guest, of course, is Jake the Snake Roberts, who has got an amazing story to tell and was very, very honest about what it meant to overcome addiction. Not only did he talk about his great career, but he really honestly talked about what it takes to recover. You'll notice that his voice is very weak throughout this interview, and the reason is while Jake thought he was trying to get over a flu, he was actually fighting double pneumonia. 2 days after this interview, he would go into the hospital for a week due to it. Thankfully, he is all right now. He's facing some other health challenges, but is handling everything on a day-to-day basis, and is just an amazing, amazing human being, and somebody whose story I'm excited to share. So sit back and enjoy listening to a very, very real conversation. If you have people in your life who suffer from addiction, this is an amazing window into it. Sit back and enjoy listening to Jake.
Good afternoon, Las Vegas, and listeners all around the world. Welcome to Live Unleashed. I am your host, Kevin Lepine. As always, you can email me anytime at info@vegashypnosisshow.com. Once again, that's info@vegashypnosisshow.com. All local Nevada, all Nevada residents can have off at the show any time for Hypnosis Unleashed over at the Hooters Casino Hotel. Come and join us, and all of our first responders in Las Vegas, all local military, police, and fire are always my guest. Just show up at the show, show your ID, and you have a free ticket to the show any night. Today's show is going to be a little bit different. I have actually removed commercial breaks for this one because we've got just such a great person to talk to. I'm actually going to skip even my beginning of the show because our guest today is an amazing human being, and that's what I can't wait to talk to. Here on Live Unleashed, our goal is to try and give you people who have succeeded in their goals and who have unleashed themselves from different chains, different shackles, to really become and grow into the person they want. Our guest today is going to be a featured performer at Freak Show Wrestling this Friday night. You can go to the Facebook page, which is Freak Show Wrestling Official, to get more information. He is a WWE superstar, now turned WWE Hall of Famer, the master of the DDT, and a man who is truly living his life in the most amazing way possible. Please welcome Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake, thank you so much for joining us this week. It's a great honor to have you on. And there's so many things that I wanted to talk to you about. Of course, you're going to be back in Vegas for Freak Show Wrestling. And really what I want to start off by talking about is, you accomplished a lot. We're going to start a little bit with the career, which was amazing in and of itself. But everybody tells that story about how when they were a kid, they saw pro wrestling and they wanted to be a pro wrestler. That wasn't your story at all, was it?
Nope, not at all. No way.
What? How did you first get involved, and why didn't you want to do it?
Well, my father wrestled, and there was just a lot of hate going on between him and I, and it was pretty ugly, man. I don't really want to go into all that. It's just such a downer every time I go into it. And it's just, sexual abuse is not funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I went through. And anybody that's going through that, you need to step up and get it out into the light. If you get it out into the light, it takes some of the power away from it.
And that's actually an important thing that we're going to be talking a lot about is that saying that you're only as sick as your secrets, and sometimes the things that we hold down, the things that we think we're hiding from other people, we're shielding from ourselves.
Right.
What made you decide to get into the ring?
Hate. I wanted to shove up my father's rear end. And to do that, I had to get into wrestling. And so that's what I did, and went into it the big way. But not really the smartest way, because I just went into it blind, man. And it was crazy. It really was crazy, man, going into it like I did.
And occasionally hate can be a great motivator to get you started
Right.
on something.
Right.
But eventually that hatred burns you out really fast.
Yeah. It's the poison that kills.
As I've talked about on the show, sometimes that hatred, it can be rocket fuel for you, but there's no guidance system.
Right. And you just keep pouring on it, and the poison just keeps coming and coming, and there is no end in sight until you get help.
Now, Now, a lot of people, of course, are going to remember you from the big run in the at the time the WWF, now the WWE. And one of the things that I always loved was you never had to carry around 20 pounds of gold to be looked at as the superstar.
True.
You were.
I just went out and did my thing, man. And it was a wild ride, man. And I twisted all the knobs and pushed all the buttons and went at it full bore. I made a deal with the devil, man. That, hey, man, if you help me get what I want, I'll do anything for you. And that's what I did.
And now there were a ton of different personalities there. Everybody's fighting for TV time. Everybody's eager to be a star. What made you stand out?
The interviews, my work, I don't think anybody can touch me there.
And
my interviews were my work.
And those interviews were so cerebral at a time when people kind of stereotyped wrestlers as, big stupid jocks.
Right.
You brought a level of forethought to everything you did.
Yeah, I twisted the knob a different way. And I had to, because I wasn't a screamer. And so I had to go at it a different way. And to do that, I had to be totally different.
And it's funny because you almost started what would become the Attitude Era when you were supposed to be the bad guy, but people were cheering for you over Hogan for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah, it cost me a lot of money.
Victim of your own success?
Yep.
Now, a lot, of course, we're really going to talk about, how you've been able to achieve the things you've achieved in the last few years. But now, at this time, during this run, were the drugs and alcohol already there?
Oh, yeah. They were there from the get-go. It was a big tool, and I used it.
And in the beginning, when you start using, the drugs and the alcohol, it can be a crutch or a Band-Aid, or it can do this or that. But there's a moment when it kind of starts pulling you backwards. Do you remember when that started?
Yeah, from the get-go, man. I mean, I struggled for years before I finally took him to the demon, and once that happened, man, I was just holding on for my life.
When did all that start for you?
Probably when I was like 16, 17. You know, the serious drugs came in later. But I must say, all drugs are serious, man. I'm kidding. You know, the coke that was bad news, man.
Robin Williams once said that cocaine is God's way of saying you're making too much money right now.
Yep. Most definitely.
Now, when did your initial run with the WWF end?
96.
Was it just the end of the run, or were the drugs and alcohol already kind of a part of that?
Yeah, it was all part of it, man. I was digging a hole for my grave, you know. Digging a hole.
And the one thing I want to touch on this part of it too, because I brought up, you know, the interviews really cerebral, the matches really methodical, really well thought out. If anything, the strongest muscle you've ever had is your brain.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, man. And I tapped into that, and I used that, and that was my best tool. No doubt.
And it's funny to me because people in general seem to think that in order to have an addiction, you have to be dumb, and it's not true. In fact, most of the smartest people I've ever known have struggled with addiction.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that was really common that I know that I've encountered a lot is a lot of very smart people would almost self-medicate because they didn't know how else to interact with people.
True. You know, you just go out there and do it so you can mask the pain, and so you can try to maintain, you know. At least you think you're maintaining. You're not. You're not. Oh.
And then on top of being brilliant, you also have the thing where Jake the Snake is untouchable. You know, this persona is big, strong. You're a big guy, big athletic guy. You know, and sometimes all that together really gives you that false sense of invulnerability.
Yeah, but that's not true. You know, you're actually more vulnerable, and you're running down the highway doing 90 miles an hour, man, and not knowing which way to get off the road. So, and then it's not cool.
What was
not at all.
What was the first moment where something in your brain went, maybe I shouldn't be doing this?
I don't know, man. It actually was pretty early, but I just wouldn't listen. You know, I just would not listen. You know, I kept going. So, yeah, my throat's killing me.
I understand. I just got off doing some red-eye flights. I'm drinking like 3 bottles of water as we're talking.
Yeah, well, that must be nice. 4 times, yeah.
What do you think didn't click at that time for you?
DDP yoga. As crazy as it sounds, to change my life completely. You know, to go out there and try something completely different. I mean, Dallas had an amazing program, man. There's nobody, you know, that's the bottom line. You know, his product is just insanity. I mean, it's just, there ain't no other way to put it. What it's done for me, I just can't ever say enough about Dallas and what he did and what he's done for so many people, not just me. So that's so awesome.
And you give Dallas a lot of deserved credit for this. How did he reach out to you to become a touchstone for you changing?
Well, he gave me the book, and I read it, and I followed it, and I hung with it, and I didn't give up. That's the most important thing about Dallas is he's a real prick.
But he's a positive prick.
Yes, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. He puts it out there for you, and he accepts no. He doesn't accept no. It's there, and it's there for you. And there's so many success stories, man. It's crazy.
And is that ddpyoga.com still? Is that the website?
Yep. And all you got to do is follow the book, man, and take it one page at a time. And I don't know, man. It's just so crazy.
Now, one thing that I was really curious about is, let's go back in time 5 years. And you're in a negative place. You're in the middle of an addiction. Knowing what you know now with where you are now, because at the time 5 years ago, that guy thought that he was doing fine by his own life and nothing else mattered. What do you wish you could have told that guy, knowing what you know now?
Shut the fuck up and get in the car. You're a fucking junkie. You're a drunk. And that's the bottom line, man. It's hard to admit that you failed. And I failed in big ways. I failed with my family. I failed in everything except wrestling.
And that failure, and I've had a lot of different experiences with different addictions, both with personal family and a lot of internal things. Anybody can come up to you and go, well, hey, the drugs and alcohol are what are helping you to fail, but you don't see it that way at the time.
No, you don't. You lie to yourself constantly. That's the bottom line. You're lying to yourself constantly. Nobody tries to fail, but most people fail to try. So that's where I was at. And I beat myself to death with that. And I could never get enough. They say that with an addiction that one more drink will kill you. One less drink will kill you. But yet you keep going.
And one thing that I found so inspiring is, and we can talk about, since you've turned your life around, we can talk about the Hall of Fame, but what really amazes me, and I appreciate you coming out to the show. You brought some family out to the show. Your son's been out to my show a couple of times. It was watching your son. It was watching your daughter. It was watching your friends talk about you now with this look of love and pride and joy about you.
And bewilderment, no doubt. It was a road that, please, don't try to grow up and be like me. Don't do it.
But it's nice that they can see the real person now, and that you're able to really connect with them.
Yeah, it's a good thing now, and to hone in on that and to grab a hold of that. And to me, the biggest thing with the addiction is I freaking survived. I mean, I don't know how I did it. I really don't.
And we talked in the very beginning about only being as sick as your secrets. When you were finally able to get to that point with your family and talk to them and let go of all that, how did it? Because it's for people who've never been in that situation, facing a secret can be very, very hard and intimidating. But how did it feel after?
I don't really know, because I'm still going through that. I still don't believe that I've actually made it. It's crazy, but that's the way I feel. I just don't feel like I've made it.
We're going to be joined. We're going to be joined in a few minutes with my co-host Will, and he's got a lot of experience in this world too. But there is that whole truth of the one day at a time, and what keeps you focused on today?
Remembering the past. And, because it could all be gone again. Just one page. One page, it could be gone again.
It's I've dealt with that in a lot of situations where you really have to explain to somebody that I didn't overcome this situation.
No,
I'm just not actively doing it.
Right. One day at a time, for me, it was like one moment. Because, even though you may have come out the other side, you still haven't gotten there.
And it's the beauty of a good program is it's that one day at a time, and that's one thing I love about DDP yoga is there's ways to really just realize that you've accomplished and done something today and feel good about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, you gotta feel good about it whenever you look at where you were at.
Now, also joining us is my buddy, my co-host, William Arundel. Will, thanks for joining us.
Throat, how are you today?
Oh, it's getting better.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. Yeah. Something about 60 just sucks.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's good.
Okay. I work with a lot of people who are on that cusp of realizing that they have an addiction. And what I'd like you to do is just share for a couple minutes what you used to say to yourself during that process where you kind of had an idea you had a problem, you didn't. How did you keep rationalizing your way into using, and what are the things you used to say to yourself?
Just browbeating myself. there's no right way and no wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
if you're active in your addiction, then you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
No
Mm-hmm.
doubt.
No doubt.
So,
And for you, how often were you using?
In the beginning, probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say 4 or 5 times a week, but that's $200 and $300 a day. So that's not good.
No, that's definitely not good. Did you find in the beginning that it helped you with the hate?
Sure. I lied to myself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly lied to myself. To think that you've got it going in the right direction. You're so full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine was like sex for me. I could never get enough.
Yeah.
Never get enough.
And for the people that are still out there struggling in addiction, what is something you wish that you could tell them or let them know?
I'm sorry, say it again.
For all the people who are still out there in different addictions, what is something you wish you could let them know? What insight do you wish that you could give them that might put them on a different path?
Okay. Just don't do it, man. Bottom line, just don't do it. It ruined my relationships. It ruined everything, man.
My uncle was very deep involved in a number of addictions, and when he finally turned his life around, there was something that he said to me once that I'll never forget. Somebody had said to him, "Hey, don't you wish you could have all the money back you wasted?" And he went, "I don't want the money back because I don't want the hatred back. I don't want the anger back. I don't want the violence. I don't want any of it back. I want to move forward now."
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, to come out the other side and raise your hand, you've won. But you don't ever win, man, till the show is done, I tell people that you have to get to the end of the road, and then you've won.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cryptic, though,
Do you still battle?
You've got to.
No, go ahead.
What?
You were going to say to win is?
To win?
Yeah. You were saying? I'm sorry. Well.
To win.
Yeah.
To win, you have to come out the other side. Get new relationships. totally screwed my life. You know, I don't know which is the worst addiction, sex or cocaine. I just don't know which was the worst. I do know this, that the cocaine addiction certainly does a lot to your sex life. And it's not a positive thing. You know, it's really not, man. And, I think if I could change, one of the things that I would like to do is go back to my life and not have gone into the sexual addiction. Because, you know, I really screwed my wife over. The only woman that I really ever loved was Cheryl. And I screwed that up, you know, big time. But it is what it is, you know. And I'm just grateful that I didn't drag her down with me.
No,
you know.
You know, a lot of people don't believe that sex addiction is real, and I'm really glad you're talking about this now because, you know, 40% of all addiction, 40% of all people who are addicted or 40% of alcoholics, excuse me, have a comorbid sex addiction, and I think that would be much. I don't have statistics on this. I think it would be much higher with cocaine. At what point did you realize that you had a sexual addiction that went along with your cocaine addiction?
Man, you know, that's a two-edged sword. You know, you think you're having a good time, you know, and just because you're having sex doesn't mean you're having a good time. You know, and I really twisted her, you know.
Now, you said that you were grateful that you didn't drag your ex down with this, and that is something that's really, really important to look at when you're on the other side. Is what are the other things that you're grateful for that you have in your life now that you didn't have then?
Being able to have hope that I will have a very healthy sex life. Most people can't believe it, but there were 7 years for me that I never touched a woman. Shake the Snake did not touch a woman for 7 years.
That's impressive. Impressive.
I had to do that to come out the other side and have a healthy sex life. Some people say, you know, if you're getting a lot of ass, you're having a healthy relationship. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know,
For our listeners, what is the difference in your mind, what is the difference between healthy sex and how does it feel different than addicted sex?
Just not playing the game. If you're job and pushing the buttons and whatever. That doesn't mean you're having a healthy sex life, man. I mean, I really regret it.
A lot of people say that it's a lot of that there's no enjoyment, that the enjoyment has gone out of the sex, and that you just feel like it's about the game of getting it, and it becomes a lot like cocaine, where half of it is scoring and getting it, but then when you finally get it, there is, the anticipation, but it's just such a letdown once the addiction finally takes hold. Would you say that described what you went through?
Sure.
Okay.
Push the button again, push the button again. Is she blonde? Is she brunette? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But,
one thing that I've told people a lot about addictions, because there's a lot of people who don't understand it, and whether it's gambling or sex or alcohol or drugs or anything else, the truth is, once whatever your distraction from your everyday life is becomes your everyday life, it becomes all-encompassing, and it's not fun anymore.
No, it's not. It's total horseshit.
Now,
I remember going to a rehab once, and this gentleman that he used to say, Jake, just shut up and get in the car. You're a drunk. You're a drunk. You're addicted to anything that makes you feel different than you feel on the norm, And that's what addiction is, man. I mean, anything that makes you feel different than you feel right now.
Now, you got into wrestling from a dark place.
Yeah.
You were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Did that help you extinguish some of that anger and that fire, do you think?
Yeah, but I often find that surreal.
How so?
At times, I still don't believe it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my mind. My mind has a real hard time accepting. So, I've never been good at patting myself on the back. I've never been good at taking the applause. I got a weird one for you, man. For years, I actually hated the fans. Because they didn't know the real me. They didn't know my trouble. So when you were cheering me, I was hating me. And it would almost turn my stomach to think, you're having me hold your kid when you don't know what a scumbag I really am. Yeah, I'm pretty hard on myself.
And
just a little bit.
And I think this goes, oddly enough, this goes along with the intelligence and the addiction, where you don't see the positive, because every time something is good, we're just so held down by our secrets and by those dark places. Right. It's that inner monologue just shredding every good moment we have.
Right.
Which is why.
That's my problem.
Which is also why in any recovery program, learning gratitude doesn't just mean learning to tell us.
Dallas's biggest problem was teaching me how to feel the love, to accept the good things about me. Because for years I did not see any good things in me. But that's because of my illness and because of the crap that I went through when I was younger, you know. Being sexually abused, it's not fun. And, it's not something you get over in a day.
If there are three things that you like about you now, what are three things that you have really learned to look in the mirror and like?
The fact that I'm a pretty decent asshole,
Mm.
and that I'm a pretty good grandfather. I never was a dad, but I'm working on it.
What were some of the things that Diamond Dallas had taught you that
I
really...
can't hear you, Ben.
Sorry, what were some of the things that Diamond Dallas taught you that that really stuck with you, that help you today? I mean, what were some of the things that he gave you that really helped you see the positive and the gratitude?
His positive attitude pisses me off. Because he's all about positive attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and refuses to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the key, really, you know, one of the many keys.
Mm-hmm.
To refuse to lose. You know, and
mm-hmm.
that was hard. That was a hard thing for me, was not falling into that trap, that self-hate, not falling back into that same old grind.
Yeah.
You actually told me a story once
being
about
grateful.
Being grateful.
What?
you'd actually told me a story once about how Paige made you get rid of a bunch of your T-shirts because they were negative.
Yeah, he's a real dick.
Well,
No,
then
and he was right. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the only time, you know, you achieve the dick label is when you're right. No, he had me get rid of some shirts because they were just all negative, you know, and I never looked at it like that before, you know. And, I mean, stuff like wasting youth. Oh God, it's been so long I can't even remember them now. But,
that's a good problem to have.
Crap, you know. I don't even look at them now as humorous, you know. Now they're just they turn me off, you know, whenever I think about, you know, wearing that crap, you know. I mean, this is R-rated, isn't it?
You know, it's so great though that
It's
you're willing.
R-rated.
Pardon?
Hello?
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
it's not R-rated, but they've got a bleeper, I think.
Yeah. Our tech is working really, really hard. But
Okay, well, then we won't go there.
but I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to be honest about stuff, and this is one of the things that so many people are afraid of, and it's one of the things that we need in our lives in order to leave behind negativity, is to be able to talk honestly about it and to be able to put that stuff, you know, out there, because when you hide it, it just gets worse.
Oh,
Yeah. What I'd like to ask you is, what is something in the last couple of weeks, what's a moment that you've gotten that you, maybe with your grandkids or your son, that you got back that you wouldn't have had had you still been using?
Well, being able to help my grandkids. My grandkids are very ill. I mean, they're 19 months old and yet to have a meal.
Oh, wow.
And now they're going to go into the hospital for 30 days, 30 nights to be taught how to eat.
Okay.
And it's like 60,000 each. It's kind of heavy, So me being able to help out on that is a pretty good feeling.
Yeah.
So, it's a positive thing. I mean, I love my grandkids, and I love my kids too, but, it's just really depressing. I did not take advantage of that when I had the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
But such is life,
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I loved about talking to your son when he came out to the show is just the pride that they have in you. And not the pride in the wrestler, the pride in the man that their father has become. And I know we've taken this really, really heavy, and I appreciate that, Jake. Thank you so much for being willing to be honest and to share that. This Friday, you'll be back here in Vegas with Freak Show Wrestling, where you'll be bringing back the Snake Pit to actually interview a very good friend of mine, the amazing Jonathan. And we're very, very looking forward to seeing you there. Of course, you're always welcome out here in town. It is always great to see you. Jake, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it. We will see you on Friday. Guys, thank you so much for listening in to Live Unleashed. We'll talk to you next week.
Monday Mayhem is back at Gene Woods Racing Experience Go-Kart Track. The stakes are higher than ever, and the winner takes all if you've got what it takes. The winner will get to race a real Thunder Roadster at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in an actual race. So be there every Monday. First race starts at 7. Come early to register. We are located at 121 East Sunset Road at the Sports Center, across from McCarran Airport. For more information, call us at 702-270-8100. That's 702-270-8100. You can visit us on Facebook, or you can go to our website at racingexperiencelv.com. Once you race here, you won't go anywhere else. Monday Mayhem is back.
Hello, Las Vegas from Hypnosis Unleashed. All Las Vegas locals get half off every night at the show, Tuesday through Sunday, 8 p.m. Come and join us for Las Vegas's wildest hypnosis show. Watch your friends get turned into rock stars, watch them do the craziest things, or come and be hypnotized yourself. This show has won all the awards here in Las Vegas, and we want to show you why. Come join us every Tuesday through Sunday night. VegasHypnosisShow.com for more details. That's VegasHypnosisShow.com.